On March 13th, adequate notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act as posted on the bulletin board of Borough Hall, filed with the Borough Clerk, faxed to the Town and the record and the community newspapers, and distributed to all persons of any requesting copies of same pursuant to said act. In case of an emergency or fire alarm, you must evacuate the building by using any of the exit doors in the room. They're immediately to my right, and the double doors at the rear of the room. Occupants must exit the building by using the staircase and not the elevator. This meeting is being recorded by both video and audio and may be rebroadcast.
All right, everyone join me in saluting the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mayor Fabre.
Here.
Council members Padovano.
Here.
Gervino. Is absent. Here.
Here.
Lindenau.
Here.
Marone.
Here.
Messer.
Present.
Borough Attorney Ronald Verio.
Here.
Borough Administrator Roberta Stern is absent. Borough Clerk Jean Flavor is here.
Okay. At this point, I'd like to open the meeting to the public. Is there anyone from the public wishing to be heard? Seeing no one, close the meeting to the public. I would like a motion to go out of the regular order of business, if that's okay, because we have two gentlemen here that I would like to come speak with us, and maybe we can ask some questions, and I don't want to keep them here all night.
Sure. I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. DPW Superintendent and Supervisor are here, in essence, to ask us to purchase a piece of equipment for the sewers, and I'd like them to basically justify that request. So if you wouldn't mind coming up and give us a little rundown on the piece of equipment, I'd appreciate it. I have, I don't know if you brought the specs, but if you need them, I have a copy of it.
Perfect. We're requesting that you approve the purchase of a sewer jet for the purpose of maintaining our current sewer system. The current sewer system is only dealt with on an as-needed basis, an emergency basis. We need to be more proactive. We're finding that within the sewer system, let's just say the people that are living in town, things have changed a bit, and everything goes down the drain. We're finding things in the drain we've never found before. We have a large volume of wipes in there. There's no such thing as flushable wipes. That's a constant problem. And grease in areas throughout the town now. It used to be specifically by Pleasant Avenue, by the cooking establishments, but now it's throughout the town. If we don't maintain it on a regular basis, we're just going to have more and more problems.
What we're having right now.
Is exactly what we're having right now. Last month we had 8 sewer jobs, some within 3 within 1 weekend alone, filling up as much as 8 holes, referring to sewer holes. So the system is filling up until capacity where it finds a way out into someone's basement.
If I understand what's happening at this point. At this point, if something like that does happen, we call another town, and they will either send their crew.
Right.
Is that what happens? They send their truck? And
right. They'll send their truck, and they'll send a truck and a driver, and we send a man, and usually I go myself as well, just to monitor and see what's going on.
Roy, what towns do we borrow from?
We borrow from Rolsa Park, Saddlebrook. We've used Paramus and Hackensack. Something that's very important to remember, being that the fact we don't have our own truck, there's times we waited an hour to an hour and a half. As Gary has stated, there's times we've had 8, 9 holes backing up. If you're waiting that amount of time, how much sewage can back into someone's house, and that's a borough liability. And everyone knows what's in sewage. The newer houses have backflow preventers that aren't concerned about that also. And it's also a health issue due to the fact of what's in there.
So Gary, so your plan now is, instead of being basically like a goalie waiting for the puck to come at us, we're actually going to make offense and maintain?
Right. So what we do right now is on Thursdays, we pull approximately 150 holes. We pull the covers, we look inside to see if there's flow, but that's only to see if there's a problem, but we're not maintaining anything. You have firsthand experience of what we pulled out of the sewer line by your house. You know, and it was a piece of pipe about 12 inches long. With regular maintenance, maybe you could find it. So, you know, there's rocks in there, there's pipes in there, there's all kinds of debris in there. And, you know, it's an aging sewer system, so the best thing that we can do is maintain it. So on a weekly basis, we would send a crew out for a few days and maintain the system, working in a pattern throughout the town, and then repeating that pattern, repeat.
So
You know?
you would be doing preventative maintenance?
We would be doing preventive maintenance.
As opposed to waiting for something to go?
Right.
Just like we do on our vehicles now?
Many years ago, when we did have a sewer jet, we still continued to check the list that Gary is speaking about. We also did PMs that day. After you checked the list, you'd run about 15 or 20 of them. Also with the sewer jet, we would have a grease cutter, which would be a great asset to Pleasant Avenue, where most of the grease comes from. And then we'd also have a root cutter if we have tree roots, which also blocks a lot of the product.
In regards to the Pleasant Avenue, we have a large buildup of grease. And what happens with the grease, it becomes bricks over time. It travels through the system, it'll clog up someplace else. You may break it free if you're lucky enough to catch it and get it out of the hole, otherwise it travels down the system and lodges someplace else. So we have chemical that we can introduce on a yearly basis on Pleasant Avenue to control the grease. It breaks up the grease, the high-pressure jet will break it up, it'll keep the pipe clean, keep everything flowing. That is...
Tell us about this vehicle, Gary.
What's that?
Tell us about the vehicle. Is that when you say high-pressure jet, the chemical you're talking about is injected?
Right, it goes mixed into the tank, and it's injected into the sewer system through the sewer jet at a high pressure. You know, we'll do, the truck is an international, it will be an international cab and chassis in line with the other trucks that we have. It's the same style truck. The men are familiar with driving that truck. It's a better truck than what the company had offered as their package. We made it with the company that they include in the package our truck spec, which they agreed to. So they are supplying everything else with the sewer jet. So with the sewer jet, it's all-inclusive. The sewer jet, we have the top-grade pump, the hoses, the heads. When they pull up and deliver it to us, it can go to work that day. And that's basically it. You know, you probably get, 20-plus years out of it. It'll be garage housed, and
We could even run
we'll
catch
maintain.
basins.
And at the same time, as things catch up, we can run the catch bases as well, as Roy has stated. You know, this is definitely a positive for the town. And if you have any questions,
I know there's been times on those emergencies that you spoke of that the town went for like $8,000, but just to clean these things out.
there are times.
Yeah.
There's actually 2 troughs in town that we
I'm sorry,
weren't...
two-
I'm sorry, there's actually 2 troughs in town that our sewer jet wasn't able to get through, that we had to call Nigla Engineering, and they would have in a private contractor.
Okay. All right.
But the amount of grease, and as Gary said, the disposable rags that do not dispose, we've also found mop heads in the sewer lines also.
Well, when I was with Gary on the one on Coles, and we looked, and it's funny that you say that, because as we were looking down, these wipes just came floating by. You could see a solid wipe. These things don't break down. I mean, I put in our newsletter, the e-newsletter, some links. They did a test with toilet paper. The system, just the actual act of it flushing and going down in a spinning cycle, rips the toilet paper up. These wipes, after 10 minutes, they did it for 10 minutes and it still didn't break down. They just stopped. So that flushable thing is just not true. Yes, you could flush it, but it doesn't break down. You know, you can flush a diamond ring, it ain't going to break down. You can do whatever you want. Not that I flush a diamond ring.
You know, and we flush those pipe at about 1,500 pounds, 1,600 pounds of PSI of pressure, and you've seen it. It washes out the pipe. Whatever's in that pipe, it'll move it.
Yeah, I've seen how this thing goes.
But we just need to maintenance.
And the the jet itself, the pressure of the water coming out actually pushes the line up the sewer line, the hose up the sewer line as far as it goes. I think that was 150 feet.
Yeah, no, we do about 500 feet.
Oh, 500. Okay. So, and it just shoots it, once it's to the top, it just shoots the water at what was it, 1,300 PSI? What was the...
Yeah, but we do about 1,500.
1,500. See, this one's much faster.
So,
Yeah.
Gary, once you pressurize it and push the line out to a certain point, what do you move to the next?
Now, once the line is clear and you break it up, it usually keeps traveling on its own.
We also
No.
have a cone head that we can put in the hole, and if anything, whether we break goes through, as in grease or paper and roots, we could also catch that in the next hole.
Yeah.
So that debris wouldn't go down and cause another blockage. Unfortunately for yourself, Mr. Mayor, I know you've had been hit with sewer jobs in your house 2 or 3 times, so you know the true experience of it.
Yeah, I'm the actual low point on my block.
True.
So, yeah, I saw what happens.
I've never been to anyone else's house, but I know it happens, and it's not a great thing at all.
Claire, you have a question?
I did. Roy, you talked about, with the truck, that there's something that cuts the roots.
Yes.
Is that going to be on this truck? Is that...
Yeah, that head is adaptable to this truck as well.
It would be a root cutter and a grease cutter.
Do you have that now, or it's going to come with?
We have those two now.
You have them now.
Yes.
The head that we're going to get is it's a multi-purpose head, which is it's a newer design from what they had in the past, and it'll accomplish a lot more than it'll accomplish a lot of different things that we come across.
So, Gary, correct me if I'm wrong, but the reason that's necessary is because our pipes, they're older and they get infiltrated by tree roots.
Oh, yep, tree roots
And
is,
then what happens is the toilet paper or the wipes or whatever else collect on the tree root.
yep,
and
clings to that
eventually it builds
until
a
it's
wall.
back up.
Including the grease buildup also.
Okay.
The grease buildup is one of the number one things, and we're finding it, like I said, everywhere in town now.
Okay.
You know, it used to be just certain areas, but
I think people think that you can throw anything down the drains, flush anything, it's a catch-all, and it really isn't. So part of what we need to do on our end is do some education here, and maybe get out the word that you got to stop doing that, because it's just costing the town money.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on, I know what you said is, a big concern for everybody, said the aging system of the constant maintenance, which I'm all for, but the high pressure on the aging pipes.
the high pressure is when we have a blockage, but on a maintenance system, you're going to drop the pressure way down, just to flush the pipe out. So you're not always running at 1,500 PSI. You know, you might be running at 700, 800. And flush the pipe out.
The fact of trying to help the people in town understand, you know, maybe they see the video. If we were to do exactly what you're doing, or what you're proposing on doing with the car, with the machine that was ours, but we went out and we subcontract every week, what do you think that would be?
To tell you the truth, I don't have I wouldn't have an answer for that I can give accurately.
Well, I just
Let's just get what you've run into in the past.
You know?
I just paid $250 to have my line just from my house to the street. Changed.
To get the guy to come out for the day is probably, you know,
$2 grand.
$2-3 grand a day.
Okay.
You know, as a guesstimate.
Sure, please.
And now, that's who that comes out? Is that a private contractor, or is that
Yep.
Rochelle Park?
Private
That's a private
contractor.
And what does Rochelle Park or somebody else cost?
Rochelle Park will only come out during day. They won't come out at night, and they won't come out on weekends.
Okay. My question is, are there other towns that would maybe want to have shared service with us
See,
for this equipment?
that's the thing. You really have to have your own, to do what Gary's trying to do, you really need your own vehicle, your own machine.
Frank's point is could we sell it to other
If we do this.
Oh, I see.
If
You're
we do
not
this.
talking, you're talking about, I'm looking to go up
I'm
and
looking
up.
past this, just saying, if we decide to acquire this apparatus, would it be available, an idea to try to, you know, offset some of the costs by having a shared service with other towns, so that we could...
Well, that's the thing with shared service, there's no,
We don't,
There's no
we don't-
fee.
They don't charge us. When Rochelle Park comes, correct me if I'm wrong,
I thought
Correct. There's no, no.
The problem is, they only come...
The availability.
When
The
there's availability, and they only come when we have an emergency.
Right.
And like I said,
And they only come during the day between 9 and 5, or whatever the case is.
and that doesn't... you know,
That doesn't help.
They're only coming after the fact.
But they're not going to come and spend 3-4 days here doing a maintenance run. You know, it's, and that's,
Problem arises.
and that's what we need, that's really what we need to address.
More than that,
That doesn't mean that we couldn't help another neighbor.
No, no, absolutely not.
That maybe their sewer jet is down, or they don't have one, that doesn't mean we couldn't go help them.
And as we do, we have a great relationship with both Rochelle Park and Saddlebrook, and, you know, we help them out as needed basis,
Okay.
you know, on just a phone call.
All right. Any other questions?
No, I think this is a great idea. It's something that I've been wanting to do for a few years now, so I'm glad it's finally coming together, that we're going to have a preventative maintenance program in place.
Okay. All right,
Question?
Let's move forward with this for the next meeting. And we gotta go. Thank you both for coming.
Thank you.
And, I know you gotta get out of here, but Roy, I know you're a modest man, but I gotta do this to you. Recently, what day was it, Roy?
Monday.
Monday, at the ShopRite in Paramus, a 69-year-old man, who we later found out was from Maywood, went into cardiac arrest. He wasn't breathing, he had no pulse. When veteran Maywood firefighter Roy Dion brought him back to life with CPR and the defibrillator.
A gentleman, Chris, from ShopRite, which is... A gentleman, Chris, from ShopRite, that's an EMT, and myself went there. Look, listen, feel. The man was not breathing in, no pulse, no reactions. He let his body go. That's what happens when you die. And we performed CPR for 2 or 3 minutes, did the AED on him, and he came back right away, started to breathe and have a pulse.
Wow.
So,
We're going to have you back here.
I wasn't expecting that on my day off.
I think that is absolutely worthy of commendation by any stretch. But you saved a man from Maywood, which is just a touch more...
It's like a bonus.
It's like a bonus, exactly. It's like a bonus. Roy, you are my hero. You saved a man's life. I know that's what you do all the time. You're prepared, as a firefighter, you're prepared to do that every day, but you actually put your training into action. And I can't thank you enough. You made us feel good.
And if anyone ever needs CPR training, NAD, Dave Norder from the Maywood Fire Police does all the Maywood Fire Department and Fire Police members, and you have to be refreshed every 2 years. So if someone doesn't have it, you never know if it's going to be a stranger or someone in your family, so it's important to have. And it's the first time I did that, and I was scared, but it worked out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you know what, Roy's right. Dave Nowda on the fire police, he does everybody's training, and he also does he volunteers his time, so he trains the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts in a different level of responding on CPR. Unbelievable job. All right, motion to go back into the regular order of business.
Motion to go back.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Correspondence and report of the Borough Clerk.
Okay. Just want to remind everybody that the meeting of April 4th, we're meeting at 6 p.m. for the elected officials training. Just a reminder.
Date again, Gene, I'm sorry?
April 4th, April 4th meeting.
Thank you.
Normally, the engineer would be here at this work session. The fact that we rescheduled the meeting, unfortunately, had a conflict. He's willing to come to our council meeting on the 28th, but if he's here on the 4th, I don't know if you want him within a week of each other, or we'll just have him come back on the 4th. Any preference, council? Or he'll be willing to come to both, he also said.
I'll be away from business on the 4th.
Okay. Will Frank have to reschedule that training? Will he have to, if he's not here for the training, what happens?
I think he only comes one time, and whoever makes it
Yeah,
get
whoever's here
whatever,
will get
$250 or
that.
$400, whatever it is.
Okay. All right, so Frank, you'll owe the town $250.
Put it on the owner.
Just have to double your salary, there you go.
So, shall I have the engineer come to both meetings, or?
I don't know that that's necessary.
Is there anything pressing that he needs to do?
No, he does his annual report.
Yeah.
His monthly report at each,
I don't think he has.
so he could come to the 4th, the meeting of the 4th. Is everybody good with that?
That's the 45.
Okay. Everybody received home in their packets their fee ordinance that I prepared. The requests were in red from the department heads, and we can discuss that at whenever it's convenient for you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take a look at that, and if you haven't already, let's get that discussion at one of the next meetings. Sorry, okay.
That's all I have.
Oh, that's, okay. Thank you, Jim. Report of the Borough Attorney.
Mr. Mayor, I have no report to give this evening.
Committee reports. Councilwoman Padavano.
I just wanted to say about the lights. I know this is shocking, but I have first-hand knowledge that they do clog the toilets. And I did find your newsletter very educational and informative, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
And it costs a bloody fortune when you have to have your pipes up. The chair yoga with Marie is suspended at the senior center as of March 20th, and we'll keep you posted when she'll be back. Also, on Wednesday, April 5th, we're having a wellness program for the seniors. It's fall prevention, and it's going to be from 12 to 12:30 on Wednesday the 5th, and there will be light refreshments served. And then, just one other thing, before I lose my voice completely, there is going to be, for the recreation department, there's going to be a new teen activity club during the summer. It's going to be for 5 Thursdays during the summer. It's for grades, I think it's for grades 7 through 10. I don't have the information. Oh yeah, it's grade 7 through 10.
Okay.
And they're going to be using the town bus to go to a couple places. Gamers Paradise, a movie, Medieval Times, we'll go to Sports Center, and Gamers Paradise again.
And is that that's the one where you...
Dating fast.
Yeah, and if you sign up for all of them, I think you're able to get a pool pass for the day. It has to be all of them, or just...
No, it's only, there's 25 spots available each week.
Yeah.
It's $15 deposits required to book each trip. And if you come for $10, you get a daily pool pass.
Okay, okay. So it doesn't, you don't have to do all of them?
No,
You have to- Okay.
just whichever one you do, you can go to the pool that day.
Oh, excellent. So that's all you got?
Questions are finished.
Let me see. Let me see what else I could come up with. Tell us about the whites. Tell us about that. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Bear.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just 3 quick things. From the building department, from the period of February 23rd through the 15th, there was $8,109 in building department fees collected. Planning board, we have ordinance 217 on the agenda tonight, so that'll make the planning board very happy. And from the fire department, something very important. I wish more people were here tonight. I know you're aware of this. I spoke to Chief Tuttle, and there were 13 offenders in town, people not cleaning in front of their houses where their fire hydrants are. And so I told them I was looking into the ordinance, and some of these people are repeat offenders, so we're going to see what action is appropriate to take. It's just so important that people clean in front of their house if they have a fire hydrant. And if you want to get a neighbor on each side of your house and say between the 3 of you, who's ever out there first, somebody do it. But it's so important that any lost time, that God forbid there's a fire and they can't find the hydrant, or they got to dig it out and it's just frozen because it's been buried in snow. It's just so important. So we have an ordinance. Please remember, if you have a hydrant in front of your house, you've got to clean it. It's a benefit, it's a must, and you also get a benefit on your homeowner's insurance because you know your homeowner insurance is. So you've got to take responsibility. You clean the sidewalks, you clean your driveway, you've got to clean the fire hydrants. So, just wanted to get that out, and like I said, the chief will be getting back to these 13 offenders as to please remind them in some form or fashion, whatever's appropriate in the ordinance. And that's all I had tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to follow up on the hydrants, I mean, Chief Peg, I'm sure you went out last night as well on the detail. We went out we call it hydrant detail, to make sure that the hydrants are clear so you can get the hose up to that. But last night, when you get to this stuff, it's like basically almost nearly dry cement when you're trying to take that stuff off of there. It's next to impossible. You have 3 guys, two with metal shovels and one with plastic shovel trying to get it, and you're out in the middle of the road, it's cold, you have the fire police there to make sure that you don't get run over by a car. It's just wastes so much of the town's resources. So, yes, and I know that the chief is strongly looking into what we can do with regard to fine, and I know Chief Peg is up on that as well. We're getting that information out, we'll get it, eventually people will get this. One way or another, they are going to understand that it saves lives. It could save their life.
Unfortunately, it may take a summons to actually get somebody's attention.
I think you're right. I think you're all right. Thank you. Councilman Linda now.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Piggybacking on the fire hydrant thing, I saw during this last snowstorm the best and the worst of neighbors on my block alone. People were out helping each other, helping the elderly neighbors, shoveling out their driveways. But people were also out shoveling snow into the street after the plows came through, blowing snow at the top of my block, at the bottom of my block. So if it was happening on my street, it's happening all around town. And especially after the plows come through and the streets are practically blacktop, snow blowers just shooting snow into the street. We need to talk to the chief maybe about going around patrolling a little more. I know they're probably very busy after snowstorms as is, but we need to get to the people and let them know they cannot put snow in the street. Because the DPW is out there working hard. They've got to navigate around cars that are in the street that should not be there. They're cleaning their cars off in the street, and they're making a mess. So the DPW is doing their best to try and clean these streets, and then people are just throwing all the snow in the streets, and then complaining that the streets look horrible.
Yeah. I know that Chief Peg put out...
I saw multiple posts.
Five nixels. I mean,
yes.
And then we put it out in the mailer. We put it out on the web. We put it on the website. Every chance you get, every outlet we have, we are telling people, and they still do it. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen snow blowers, people with snow blowers with the blower aimed towards the street.
Full out, not short, so that it could stay on the curb. Full out, right into the middle of the street.
Did Councilmember Maroney live at the top of your
Actually, it wasn't him. They were across the street from him.
And I was watching him through the window, and I'm saying, God, what an idiot.
So it was that one up there, and then down the block from me, and then a gentleman also down the block from me, helping his neighbor shovel out, but taking shovelfuls and walking to the middle of the street and throwing the snow. And when I yelled at him from up the block, stop doing that, he later said to my neighbor, I was going to shovel it out anyway. So he was going to do double duty and shovel it into the street and then shovel the street.
Yeah. Well, you always hear people say, well, what am I supposed to do with it? The easy answer is put it on your lawn.
Exactly.
That's the answer. Put it on your lawn.
Most people have front lawns that they can shovel onto, or the curb between the sidewalk and the street, that grassy area on some streets. So please, please, please stop throwing snow in the street, and your streets will be cleaner once the DPW can do their job.
You're looking at me when you say that. I do.
All you people out there.
Many members of the audience.
All those guys in the...
All right, that's all. And there was one minor breakdown with one of the plow trucks, but it wasn't anything major. Other than that, that's all I have tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Lino. Councilman Maroney.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I just have one thing to report tonight. Memorial School PTO is having their beefsteak/tricky tray on April 20th. If you do want to come, the mayor and council will be there, so bring your tomatoes and your eggs. It's $65 per person, and the last date to sign up is March the 20th. So, and it's at the Brownstone, so they do a great job with the beefsteak. So that is Memorial School PTO. I want to wish everyone a happy St. Patty's Day, and also let you know if you're practicing Catholics, there's no meat on Friday, so, and there's no special dispensation for corned beef.
If you don't say it, it doesn't count. If you didn't know, it doesn't count, so now we know. You know, man.
That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Hold down.
Thanks, fun police. All right. Council President Massar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's official, bicycle rodeo is on for Friday, April 28th, from 3:30 to 5:30 in Maywood Avenue School. Thank you to the police department and Chief Pegg for putting that together again. And I believe the chief has a report for closed session for us, and that's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I just want to say briefly that this evening at 4:30, there was an art show at One Bergen County Plaza, and our school, members from both schools had work on display. I was there because my daughter's work was on display, and there was a lot of people there, believe me, because there was a bunch of schools, a bunch of towns had their artwork there, and the artists are. I look at this stuff, I'm like, I can't even put. I do tic-tac-toe and it looks good. This is just unbelievable, the work that these kids do. They had seniors all the way down to 3rd grade. And then they also got commendations, the teachers got commendations from the Bergen County freeholders and also from the executive. They spoke, a couple of the freeholders spoke on behalf, and they all took pictures with the kids. It was a great time. Mr. Jordan was there as well. And that is, I believe that's all. Let me see if I have anything else in my report. I think that's all I have tonight. It's an early one. Usually I talk a lot. Yeah, that is it. I want to thank Roy and Gary again for coming tonight. Let's see. I don't think we stuff under, should I mention the new business or anything in my report? I'll do it on the new business. Bring that up to the new business. Okay. Let us get back on track here. I'm sorry, Jim.
One?
Oh, there we go. The demand is right there. Okay, appointments. Number 1, Ryan Ullman as a member of the Green Team effective March 16th, 2017. Is there a motion for the appointment?
So moved.
Second. Hurry up, roll call.
Padavano?
Yes.
Trevino? Sorry, Dickier?
Yes.
Lindenow?
Yes.
Maroney?
Yes.
Messa?
Yes.
That's it, you're done. You're in.
Yay.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm joking with you,
Yeah,
but thank you.
thank you.
We need your help. We need all the help we can, and I'm happy when anybody from the town joins these things. So, and I know you're active, so we'll get you in there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy to have you.
Okay, approval of the following. From MH5K, Maywood Hawks 5K Committee, request to hold annual Maywood Hawks 5K race on Sunday, October 1st, 2017, with a start time of 9 a.m. Number 2, request from MYAA and MRPGS to hold opening day parade on Saturday, April 1st, 2017, along West Pleasant Avenue, north on Wyoming Ave to Memorial Park, beginning at 9:30 a.m. Number 3, from the Hackensack Regional Chamber of Commerce, requesting permission to hold the annual street fair along West Pleasant Avenue on Sunday, April 30th, 2017. And number 4, from the Maywood Rotary Club, request to hold their annual 5K race on May 20th, 2017, starting at 9 a.m. from Memorial Park, and posting of signs advertising same to be displayed at approved locations. Is there a motion for the approval?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion?
Discussion. I'd just like to discuss the second item, the request from the MY and MRPGS to hold the opening day parade. Obviously, if you look outside, there's a lot of snow on the ground, and there's actually some more in the forecast in the next week. And opening day would be 2 weeks from 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks from Saturday. Perhaps, to be prudent, we should recommend that there is an alternative date or a rain date or a snow date, you might want to say, of the following week, just to make sure that there's an option should the snow and the weather not be feasible for a parade and or games.
So you want to amend that to include a rain/snow date of
An alternate date or a rain date or a snow date, whatever.
Of April
you'd like
8th?
to say.
April 8th?
The following week, yes,
Yeah.
April 8th.
So Gene, can we do that with you?
So, number 2 would be approved, amending to include a rain date we'll use of April 8th.
Okay.
Provisionally, it's approved, with the understanding there'll be a rain date of April 8th.
Okay, thanks.
Is that good with all?
Yeah, roll call?
Adavano?
Yes.
Didier?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Okay, resolutions by title.
Resolution 5917, transfer of appropriation reserves. Resolution 6017, resolution rejecting bids for the purchase and installation of backup generators for the DPW building in the Borough of Maywood Senior Citizens Building in the Borough of Maywood, Bergen County, New Jersey. Resolution 6117, resolution authorizing Neglia Engineering to provide professional services for the Oak Avenue roadway improvement project.
All right, is there a motion for the adoption?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Roll call?
Adavano?
Yes.
Didier?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Okay, introduction of ordinances.
An ordinance 217, an ordinance amending Chapter 209, Schedule C.
Is there a motion for the introduction?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
Roll call?
Adavano?
Yes.
Didier?
Yes.
Lindenau?
Yes.
Maroni?
Yes.
Messer?
Yes.
Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood that ordinance 217 pass on first reading and that said ordinance will be further considered for final passage at a meeting of the Mayor and Council to be held on April 4th, 2017 at 7:30 p.m. at the Borough Hall, 15 Park Avenue, Maywood, New Jersey, at which time and place all persons interested therein will be given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same as the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to advertise the same according to law.
Okay. Under new business, we have a request from Park Avenue Motors to rent them 10 parking spaces for employees on the town pool property adjacent to their Central Avenue dealership. In their opinion, the going rate for spaces is $50 per car, which would come out to $500 per month. They appreciate our consideration in this matter and look forward to our decision. Looking back in time, this is there's precedent for this. It had been done in the past. Was that 2003, correct?
2003, 2004 we did.
2004. Can you give us a little bit of just a rundown on that, Gene? As brief as possible.
Well, it has been done before. They had spaces when they had an overload of, before they had the other Park Avenue on the other side of the street down there. There was an overload of cars delivered and they parked them there for a period of time. It was not during snowfall season, so we should add those provisions in there.
Oh, that's a good question, Gene. Because it's not in their email. Are they asking for a certain period of time?
The man verbally said, the CEO verbally said it would be until the opening of the pool, but
Okay.
you're right, it's not included, it's not part of the who, what, where, when, why. It was.
We can make any conditions we want, even though it's not in there, we could make it subject, put them in a certain part of the lot. We could increase the rate if we wanted to, and the days that they can do it. We can make any, stipulations that we want. I tend to agree $50 a spot. Didn't we do something like that also at the library, something with $50 a spot? What did we do for $50 recently, no?
We rent out spots. We rent out
$40.
We rent out.
Right, and that's the resident. That's resident.
Residents
Okay.
of town. Yeah, we do that. I'm just curious, where did the go? Where's that the going
Where do they
rate?
come up?
I was questioning that myself. I don't know where the going rate would be, but once again, that's the information I was provided.
Okay.
Where's the parks going?
Well, per month, so that we get. So the pool opens when June.
Memorial Day. So through May,
through...
through the last Friday in May, I guess.
Yeah. So they wouldn't, so it would be April, it's basically 2 months.
2 months.
2 months. So $1,000 if that's if we accept the going rate. I generally don't have a problem with this. The lot's not going to be used.
I just stipulate it back in the warrant.
Yeah.
Right, I would just, as long as they're out by the end of May, and then if they're gonna park in there, they need to park closer to the senior centers and not closer to the pool entrance.
Well, I would think,
Time.
I would think when we rent, yeah, I would think it...
That's true, too.
How much did we just pick up with snow down there? Did we dump snow down there?
Mhm.
Did we take up a lot of spots with the snow?
No.
I still think
Our
they
chief-
can...
our chief
and
said
cars.
no.
I'll put some wide open.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we actually rent the spots along by the basketball net, along Riviera.
Well,
We rent those.
right, and I guess if they're not gonna be there during swim season, it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, so they could probably park wherever is convenient. Is that correct, Chief?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a set time for the day, is it 8 to 5, 9 to 5?
And once again, we can add that provision.
Okay.
I don't know what his hours are.
But the chief might even know, he might have some, do you know when they were parking there, what hours they were parking?
They were getting in, beginning of work week and work day, leaving like 5, 6 o'clock. And we did talk about that. Remember the Joseph Coach's Field down there, I don't know what time they're going to start using that. Although it's not going to interfere with it, you might want to think about assigning certain spots that they do parking, so we can regulate how many they have and how many we charge for.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
They're not numbered over there, though.
They're not numbered, but I'm sure we could put something temporary there that's not going to...
Why don't you say the first 10 spots along the fence, whatever.
Starting from the back.
Yeah.
I don't know, I can tell you that my daughter pays for her second car at a condominium, she pays $95 a month.
So the going rate is basically subjective. It just depends on what point of view you're looking at the going rate.
We did.
All right, well, thank you for adding that part, I like that part. Listen, I don't think anyone here has any problem with them, with them doing this. I don't think anyone has any problem assigning a couple of conditions here. I think the only issue is what we consider the going rate. 50 seems a little low to me, to be honest with you.
I have no
I
problem
mean,
with
this is $10 more than what we're charging our residents, and our residents
sure
are
you
tax.
could look it up.
Everybody's tax payer.
Look it up, so you can find out.
All right, so then why don't we, what? They're a taxpayer as well, but why don't we, put
some
some,
things. $50 or $60 a minute. It's $1,000 total we're talking about here, right? So
Yeah.
so maybe it's going to go up another $100 or something.
well, listen, maybe in the
I'm
South
just-
River it doesn't
I'm just
matter.
saying.
Or maybe rather than per car, say for the 10 cars, for the duration, it's $2,500 through May 30th.
What do you think, woman?
Seems a nice round number,
That is a nice round.
and you're not setting it, you're not going by
The
there.
It's a nice number. I said there's nothing round about it, but it's a nice number.
Well, it's 25, but
It's a round number. You can,
No, I'm
you can
saying
get some
quarter.
multiples in there.
Yeah, it's a quarter of...
5 times 5.
My only point in bringing it up is to try to get something done sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Well, I
so they
think
want
that's
to
what
use
they're
it as soon as
looking
possible.
for, I mean...
All right, well, they're
If you're
looking
looking
for
for more
$1,000 a month. Our clerk is looking for $2,500 a
I'm
month.
not...
Let's,
Recommended, I didn't say we're looking for it,
well, it's a
you
round
said you
number.
wanted more money. So make it 25.
I'm representing our townspeople, and I need to get every dollar for our townspeople.
That's what they charged last
they're
time, I
already
don't know what the
looking for
duration was.
$500
You look at
a
the
month.
agreement.
Well, 2000, see, that's the going rate in 2003 was the 10.
But it might have been a longer period of time. I don't remember as far as it was, it doesn't really go into detail.
All right, December to April, so 4 months.
Right, and that's how many years?
$2,500 would be about $125 a car.
But that's 15 years ago.
But my point is, at $50 a car, it's $500 a month, right? So it's 2 months, we got $1,000. So we're talking about not $50 a car. You're saying $2,500 would be $125 a car, if my math's correct.
Right.
How,
By you.
That's even higher than, I think I can park in the city for that, but whatever.
Well, where's you gonna have these poor people park for 50 bucks?
yeah, is there any other,
Same.
well, that's the thing, is there any other are there any competition in that area? Are we competing with anybody else, or we have to keep our prices low? The only people that we're competing with are themselves.
I got a big, long driveway.
You do, right? I do too. And yours is all clear of snow because you threw it into the street, right?
That's right.
Into the street.
This is a half a block from...
Oh, well, let's not
Yeah.
throw too much water on it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking a nice number would be $100 a spot. It's not exactly as round as 2,500, but it's
You know
still
what?
2,000. Listen, that does
You
a
just
lot.
have to, you have to make sure that he knows that it's just going to be for a set amount of time, because
Oh, without
I
a
can't
doubt.
understand that. He would only want it for 2 months.
All right. Gene, speak with the man that you spoke with. The man
Well,
from 2000,
we're gonna do an agreement here?
Well, I mean, I would okay it, but I mean, basically,
Why don't we-
we
why don't we-
can't have an agreement unless they say yes.
Why don't we vote on authorizing the clerk to
To
get it
negotiate
done-
on our behalf?
To get it done at $100 a spot, and if it works, then it's approved.
I like that. Are you making the motion, sir?
I'm not, but someone else did.
Someone else? Does someone else have a motion?
Motion 2.
Motion to authorize the clerk to get the spots rented out at $100 a pop
Can you say pop?
until full open.
Okay. So the resolution will have the word pop in it?
Yes.
All right.
It's a legal- it's a
I'm
legal
just
term.
dragging this on because I know you're waiting.
It's a legal term. Bob.
I'll keep you back as long as possible. I feel safer with 2 police officers here.
I may be dying over here.
Yes, and that's the other thing. All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to go to close.
Well, let's see, wait, let me just ask real quick, is there any old business? Is that it for new business? Okay, is there any old business? Is there any miscellaneous business? Okay, at this point, I will entertain a motion to go into closed for purposes of personnel.
Ditto. Motion to go to close.
Be it resolved by the Borough of Maywood, Mayor and Council, it might be heard. Pursuant to open public meeting, the Mayor and Council in closed session discuss the following subject matters: personnel. Be further resolved as precisely determined at the time of the discussion conducted in said closed session can be disclosed to the public upon taking final action on provided disclosure shall not violate the attorney-client privilege or constitute undue invasion of privacy. Be it further resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Maywood do not envision their return to open session after this meeting, but reserve the right to do so.
Non-council, please, in your contract negotiations.
Personnel and contracts with the